Hello, thank you for joining us today for our welcome webinar, part of our GROWL orientation program. Today we're going to hear from the faculty from the Coleman College of Business, and they'll talk about opportunities available for our students within our business programs. Let's get started. We'll hear from our Dean of our Coleman College of Business, Dr. Howard Roberts.
Well, good afternoon, and thank you for joining us to learn more about the Coleman College of Business at UPike. We have a tremendous program that you'll hear more about in the next little bit, and feel free to reach out to any of the faculty members who are on here today, or to Stephanie or to me. I'm Howard Roberts. I am the Dean of the Coleman College of Business, and I work with the best group of people on campus. So with that, I'll let them introduce themselves.
Hi, Trey and others. I am Brenda Maynard. I am an associate professor of business. Classes I teach are computer applications classes, now called digital citizenship, management information systems, business ethics. I've taught healthcare ethics. I've taught a class called advanced Excel and productivity tools. And through the years, I've taught personal finance, intro to business. And at one time, for 13 years, I was a temporary career development person on campus. So I also have taught career development classes. So welcome to our Coleman College of Business. And I do agree with Dr. Roberts. We are the best group on campus.
All right. My name is Greg Green. I'm an economist. I've been at the university for about 8 years. I teach the introductory econ courses and the operations management courses in the undergraduate. And at the graduate level, I teach an econ, a stats course, and an operations course. I think it's fun. I do agree. We do have a good group of people. I've enjoyed working at the University of Pikeville, and hope that we can be there to help answer any of your questions in the future.
Hi, I'm Lois Rogers White, and I'm an associate professor of accounting. I also have my CPA license, although I do not practice publicly, but I'm the site coordinator of the VITA program on campus, so we help do taxes for members of the community. I teach mostly upper level accounting courses, but a couple sections of principles of accounting as well. This fall will mark the beginning of my 14th year of teaching at UPike, and I'm also a graduate of Pikeville College, class of 2004. And I have to agree with everybody else. I feel like we have the best group on campus. Everybody gets along great, and all of our students, I think, love attending the College of Business.
I'm Rick Bentley. I teach the sport management classes here at UPike. This will be my 25th year at the university, which sounds like a long time, only because Howard and Brenda didn't tell you how long they've been here. I've been teaching now. This will be my 8th year in the classroom. Love every minute of it. This is a phenomenal group of people. You will never find a better bunch, and they will help you in any way they possibly can.
Hi, I'm Lucy Holman. I'm an instructor of business. I teach marketing, business communication, crisis communication, and personal money management. I'm also an alumna of UPike, and I look forward to seeing you on campus in the fall. Thank you.
You're muted, Clark.
See, they wish they could mute me in regular life, but I just do it myself. My name is Clark Leichte. I'm assistant professor of business, teach all the entrepreneurship, undergrad and MBA. Entrepreneurship's a minor, so it's not one of the major programs that people can get involved in, but it's a great supplement. Trey, you were talking about chemistry and biology. A lot of those kind of people start their own businesses, and so the minor program in entrepreneurship can give a good foundation for that. And this is my second year in the program. I've been teaching entrepreneurship for I think 8 or 9 years, and have done it, have started businesses before that, and just love being here, and looking forward to the new group coming in.
Thank you. Trey, do you have any questions right off the bat that you can think of? You want to start our conversation?
Nope, not that I can think of.
Okay, you just let us know when you do.
Alright,
Howard, do you have a specific topic you want to start off first, or?
Sure, I would be happy to. I'll give you an overview about the College of Business and the programs that we offer. We have primarily students in the business program seeking a baccalaureate degree, although we do offer the associate degree in business. But with the bachelor's degree, every business major is required to complete a core of business classes. And those are the general courses in accounting, the principles of economics, it's marketing, management, finance, a wide range of courses there that will prepare you for business. And then each student chooses an emphasis, and that emphasis then is additional courses relating to that particular program. And we have 4 areas of emphasis in business: accounting, management, healthcare management, and sport management. And some of the other professors will each talk about those programs. And then, as Dr. Lichty said, we do have a minor in entrepreneurship. And when we talk about majoring in business or just taking business courses to supplement your own knowledge in the world, there are some great business courses that are very, very useful. We offer Business 100, which is the personal money management, and several of us have taught that course. And every semester that course is taught, I always have several students who tell me, I think this course should be required for every UPike student. And it is a very practical course, regardless of major, because it teaches you basic components of being a consumer. You look at career planning, you learn how to create a budget, how to buy or rent a house or an apartment, various types of insurance that you need, and transportation. All those things are major expenses that we have in life, and that's a very good course for anyone to take. Mrs. Maynard mentioned also the digital citizenship course, and that course is required for all business majors, but it's also a course that many other UPike students enroll in so that they can complete part of their general education requirements, the Gen Ed core, as we refer to it. So there are a number of options in the business program. As I stated earlier, and as you can see from these individuals who are here today, we have very strong faculty. But I will also tell you that this is a very caring faculty. We are located in the Academy building, which is the historic building on the lower part of the campus. And all of the faculty offices are there. Faculty are very accessible to students. They are there to help you with assignments or to give you career counseling, to talk to you about job opportunities. We also provide internships to our students. A few programs require internships. The sport management program and the healthcare management require internships. But any student can complete an internship and count that as an elective in their program. So we'll talk more specifically about the programs, and I'll ask Lois White to speak first about the accounting program. And she will also tell you about careers in accounting.
Hi,
So Lois?
I'm Lois White, and most people think that with an accounting degree that really all you can do is taxes, but there's such a wide realm of possibilities beyond the world of tax. There's really an accounting element in almost every, well, in not almost every, but in every business that exists. I guarantee you there's an accountant somewhere that's doing the paperwork and balancing the books. So any industry that you may be interested in, I think accounting pairs well with our other emphases. For example, I've had students who have paired accounting and healthcare management and worked in the science department at a hospital, a student several years ago who paired with sport management, and she actually landed a job in the finance department of the Phoenix Suns after graduation. So really any industry that you have interest in, you can get there with accounting. I actually have a current student who has his heart set on the FBI. I think his dad is just retired from the FBI, and a lot of people don't realize that accounting is one of the fastest ways to get to the FBI, other than, you know, if you speak a foreign language and you're very fluent, accounting is right up there at the top of the list for people that get accepted into the FBI. So in our accounting program, you'll take the principles level courses as part of your business core, and then your accounting emphasis would consist of the upper level courses like intermediate accounting, advanced accounting, federal taxation, accounting information systems, and auditing. And you will get a unique experience in the federal taxation course. We do a program each spring called the Volunteer Income Tax Assistance Program, and you'll actually have the opportunity to complete real tax returns for members of the community and get some hands-on experience. So not only is the experience great, but it's a wonderful resume builder as well. A lot of college students struggle to get volunteer experience on their resumes, and this is actually volunteer experience in your field. In addition, our program does meet the education requirements for the Kentucky CPA licensing process. If you're from a different state, you might want to check the requirements. Some states require some additional ethics courses and things of that nature, which are very easily attainable. But our program does meet the standards for education requirements in Kentucky, certainly, and in most other states. Probably the only other thing that I would want to share would be I'm also the advisor for our Phi Beta Lambda program. So if you're familiar with FBLA at the high school level, which is Future Business Leaders of America, we do have the college equivalent of FBLA, which is Phi Beta Lambda. So all majors, not just majors, so you can contact me about that as well.
Okay, thank you, Lois. And next, Dr. Lichty will talk to us about majoring in management and also about the entrepreneurship minor. Clark, you're muted.
I know, I need to take the digital citizenship class from Brenda so I can know how to work Zoom. I think with management, the main thing there is to get a good foundation. You're going to look at marketing, finance, business law, just get a good foundation of what you're going to encounter and what you're going to experience. I don't think, anybody expects you to master all that and be able to run a corporation right out of college, but it's to get exposed to it, to understand the concepts and the thought processes that go into it. And the same thing with entrepreneurship is about, there's a lot of things you could find on your own, but I think the thing that we like to cultivate and that I enjoy with the students is to be able to teach that thought process and to bounce back and forth with ideas. And that's what I think the entrepreneurship thought is, and even getting into business and thinking of different things in a regular corporation that may be established is that how to bounce back and forth, how to come up with new ideas, and how to overcome obstacles and not give up on those things. And I think entrepreneurship works better, like I said, for people like Trey who come from other majors and are concentrating on those things. And I think entrepreneurship becomes a good addition to that kind of program, because it prepares you for inevitably having to either start your own business, or at least if you're not going to be hands-on starting it, that you're going to be one of the founders and to understand all the ups and downs and the trials of trying to get something started off the ground. And then, of course, for those people who go into the management program, to be able to get an entry-level job, understand how things work, and be able to take those basic level skills that maybe they have gotten, and then work on those and improve those as they go through. But to have a good foundation going into their careers.
Clark, thank you. And next, Rick Bentley will talk to us about the sport management program at UPike.
Thanks, Howard. In sport management, you would start with the foundations class, the introductory class, and then there are specific classes and topics like ethics and marketing and the globalization class on international sport, those sorts of classes. Then the senior seminar class, which is a leadership type class, and of course the bane of every sport management person's existence, the sports writing class, which they all hate and I cherish with everything in me. We also do internships as a requirement in the sport management program. I think it's a great opportunity for you to put your what you learn in the classroom and see how that fits into actual the working environment. We have great relationships locally with places like the Expo Center here in town, the Appalachian Wireless Arena. We also have great relationship with a place like the YMCA here in town, so you learn how to run a rec center and those sorts of places. And then, of course, we have had interns go everywhere from a local coach here on campus to working for the Dallas Mavericks as an internship. We have a lot of opportunities for you when you have these sorts of opportunities in sport management. So
Rick, I think you cut out.
Technology.
Okay, so we will move on now. And Brenda Maynard plays a key role in managing internships, not only those that are required in the healthcare field, but also she assists with sometimes with the sport management, but all other internships in business. Brenda Maynard coordinates those. She has a great working relationship with our local business community. So Brenda, talk a little bit, please, about the internship program and some of the experiences that UPike business students have had with internships.
Yes, glad to do so. Well, as Howard already stated, we do have requirements for internships in our sport management classes and also in our healthcare classes in our healthcare area. And we've placed them in facilities at Pikeville Medical Center, ARH. I can think of Kellogg's. A lot of our students will begin in Kellogg's, which has led to some excellent positions. In fact, Ken Stiltner is one of our graduates we recently recognized, and he lives in Battle Creek, Michigan now, and is one of the main people for the Kellogg's Corporation. So we really like to encourage our internships. They do lead, many of them, to great things. They work here at our city of Pikeville. Also, we put them at our Expo Center. So they've been just invaluable learning experiences. They work for CPAs. They go out and work in our local businesses. They spend time with our Southeast Chamber of Commerce. So again, we strongly encourage them, whether they must take an internship or not, because they always are great learning experiences, and also they usually lead to good things. They give our students a good feel like, well, I really like that area, or I don't like that area. Another thing I'd like to talk about, since Trey is here, one of our graduates was his counselor at Johnson Central High School. Do you know Kim Castle, Trey?
Yes, I do, actually.
She was one of our best, and still a great, great friend to many of us, and also to you. But I think of where our students, our graduates are. I can think of Donnie Jones, which has been a coach now. I think he's at Stetson University in Florida, but he's traveled the world and particularly, he's been in Florida coaching with our own Billy Donovan. He started at Marshall came here as a student and as a basketball player and followed around some with many good coaches, and he's always in contact. In fact, yesterday was his birthday, so we kind of conversed. Many of our people are in education, pharmaceutical sales. One of my best friends is just retired in pharmaceutical sales, and now she didn't like retirement, so she went back to work in another company. Many are in medical equipment sales. Many are in management positions, not only in Pikeville, but our surrounding areas. Again, I know several that are in the FBI, banking. Pikeville Medical Center is a big employer for us, the city of Pikeville. So it's just a wonderful area to be in business and healthcare. We get a lot of students like Trey that might be in chemistry or other areas, and maybe just will get a minor in business, and it's led to great things. My management information class, I think, is one of my most interesting. We talk about how the world is being transformed. We talk about we're living in a global, flattened world. We talked recently and talked about flattening the curve. So I encourage our students, think about the changes you've seen since you've been in, since you've been in this world. Radio, TV, textbooks, online education. We're now using Zoom today to converse and teach. Think about social media. I'm watching this on the news this morning about TikTok and how it's invading our privacy. We talk about the Internet of Things, cloud computing, on-demand services, Lyft, Uber, Airbnb. So, we've got some very good, interesting classes here. Personal finance, intro to business, I agree, should be probably required for all because they're invaluable classes. So anyway, we're excited. We're excited to have our students. We're excited to help our students.
Thank you, Brenda. And I'll talk a little bit about the healthcare program, our healthcare management program. Again, those students complete an internship, as we mentioned, but they have a very strong background in management when they leave the institution, but very specifically in the healthcare area of management. And a student pursuing a program in healthcare management learns everything about healthcare ethics, how to operate healthcare facilities, whether that be a hospital or a nursing home, a clinic. Sometimes those healthcare individuals are employed. We forget about some of the unconventional opportunities of employment, just like Lois mentioned many times. Accounting majors do not work in public accounting, and many times healthcare majors work in the healthcare sector, but they are often employed too in government services and by large law firms, because many times law firms who handle malpractice cases need someone with a medical and healthcare background to help prepare for those cases. So there's a wide range of employment opportunities with any aspect of business, because business truly is something each of us deals with every day. We are a consumer. We work for business. That would be our employment. We may own a business. So business is crucial to learn and to understand, and we're here to help anyone who wants to study business. We welcome that. And also I'll mention about our healthcare program is that those students who pursue that program do go well beyond this area too. You heard earlier about some of our business graduates who have pursued careers far beyond the region, and that's very true for healthcare as well. Also, I would like to say that when we think about the business program, you would receive a very comprehensive education in business because you do study all aspects of business from, as we mentioned, accounting and economics, management, marketing, but also legal component. There's a required course in business law. So a business major has lots of opportunities in employment, and we are here to help guide anyone to a career in business. Stephanie, would you like for us to address anything else at this point? Or Trey, do you have any questions?
Nothing I can think of.
Okay.
I think you did a great job giving overviews of each of the programs. What we get a lot of questions from new students and their families is easing that transition, you know, especially now, knowing uncertain times how we finished the academic year different than we started it. And the high school students, you know, they finished high school different than they started it, right? So it's a hard question, but I'd like to see what would a typical class be? I know no class is typical, no two are the same, but like what could a new student expect? Maybe, Lucy, I know you teach one of the entry-level classes of personal money management they mentioned. So day one, students walk in your class, sit down, and they're looking at you. Their knees are bouncing their feet are bouncing on the floor, those bouncing knees, you've seen it. So what do they expect? They look up at you and what happens?
Well, actually, Stephanie, it's an 8 a.m. class, so they're pretty sleepy. They don't look up much at all. There's no eye contact. But what we talk about is how we spend our money. I might ask them, how many brands, and I do this in marketing too, did you touch today? From the minute you got out of bed, how many things did you touch that are branded? And they go all the way from your toothpaste to your breakfast cereal, you know, you put on your Apple Watch. So, and then we start talking about how do we afford those things. And I have the students take a look online when they decide what they want to be, see what that pays, and then see what it pays to live in a city that you want to live in. And it's pretty eye-opening for them. I'll also ask them on day one, if you live in the dorm, what does it cost to like have a place to stay? And they say, I don't know, that's part of my tuition. And so I want them to think about how everything costs money, and then how they want to make that money. So, and the good thing about it is because it is open, it is part of the gen ed curriculum. We get a lot of students from different majors, and some of them get pretty interested in business just from being in our classes.
Absolutely. So you make them think and you challenge them. Day one.
Day one.
Ouch.
Stephanie, if I may say, Lucy does the best job of any of us, I think, and anybody I've ever seen in the classroom, of taking what is happening in the news right today and applying it to her class. She is phenomenal at that. I think she does a great job across the board in all of her classes teaching that.
Absolutely. And I was going to talk about that too. Well, I'll jump to you since you spoke up, Rick. How we talked about you talked about your experience at the University of Pikeville teaching and then your prior experience. So how do you bring your lived experience and lived wisdom before you were an instructor? How do you bring that into the classroom now?
I think it gives me, and Lucy as well, a unique perspective in that we know what it's like to actually be out and have jobs in the fields that we teach in. And we know what it means and what the knowledge that you need to know. And that's why, for me, the writing element of any of the classes I teach is important to me, because you always have to communicate. In our world today, you cannot function without a level of communication, and a good level of communication. And I think that's important no matter what way you go about it. So that's for me, that's one of the best things that we have here, and one of the best things that I'm able to offer.
Absolutely. So Clark, how do you, in entrepreneurship classes, how do you teach? I know current topics, they're more so now within the past 6 months and going forward, will they be applied in the classroom and that relatability? So how do you incorporate adaptability and flexibility within entrepreneurships and the changing marketplace world, all that kind of thing? Everything's a moving target.
Right. Right. I'll tell you one thing that we did in the spring. I teach a entrepreneurship issues class, and we go through different types of things an entrepreneur may encounter. And when all this COVID-19 stuff came up, I kind of scrapped a few weeks of what I was going to do. We went into contingency planning and we looked at all the different things. There's a list that FEMA has of all the different things that could happen to your business and what's your plan for them, from tornadoes and earthquakes and technical issues. And nothing on that list was about a pandemic. So it was like, here's this list of things that we couldn't even probably name half of them just sitting here. And that's not even everything that could go wrong. And we talked about how would you, what would you do? Would your business be affected by this? What could you do to prevent some of these things from happening? And how would you be able to keep your business going in these certain situations? And I think that's a theme that will probably carry on into the fall. As we start a business, you're not just starting a business that is going to be offered one way. You have to now, just as in education, you have to offer, we have face-to-face, we have online, we have hybrid, listen to it later at your own pace. Business is becoming kind of that way too, or needs to, so that you can adapt to, I have a storefront, I go to festivals, I'm online, and that not only that those things are things you'll encounter, but also you don't have to know how to do that. It's kind of like people joke about Steve Jobs, that he really didn't know how to do any of the stuff that got made. He just had a bunch of other people do his ideas. And I think that is something that scares people in entrepreneurship. They're like, well, I don't know how to program, or I don't know how to make an app, or I don't know anything about, distribution. You don't have to. You just have to know what you want to do, and then let's find people to plug into that. And we use, one thing to add to this is what I like to do is, instead of giving case studies of, Google or Microsoft, which we talk about those companies, but actually talk about what's the business you want to do. And even if they don't think they're going to go into their own business, I have them come up with an idea of something that they want to start. And we talk about things in context of, well, how would that affect your specific thing? So it makes them, I think they buy into it a lot more because it's their thing that we're talking about. And other students participate, and it's more fun participating in something like that than me saying, well, what do you think Google's going to do? Or Amazon or something like that, which we talk about those things when they come up in the news that I think will be interesting. But I try to keep things on what's going on now, and also what is something that you're interested in personally that you would want to get behind and start.
I know, I loved how you mentioned you'll find the people, and it's always about surrounding yourself with good people. We know that. We talked about that, and you guys mentioned that in your introductions, right? So it's always interesting to me whenever you see students in a group project, a business group project, entrepreneurship project, or even competition, that they will diversify themselves and they will get a communication major, or a history major and a business major, and they put all those together. So how do you encourage that in your classroom with students from different backgrounds, within group projects or within teamwork? How does that work?
Yeah, I think absolutely. What I try to do is don't limit yourself. Don't limit this in this classroom, or in the people that you may have another class with, but where would you get the idea from? And some people actually, a lot of the ideas they bring to class is because of something that happened around them or somebody had mentioned. So I say, there's people who are maybe they don't know the secret that you don't have to know how to do everything. So you can find the ideas that they have and bring them in here, and you can develop those ideas based on those people. So, and knowing that, one thing we do is they have to present the business plan. And it's like, some people are the brains and some people are the face and can be the talker. So you have to figure out which one, what your role is, just like on any team. So there's been times where somebody else has come in maybe to present the plan of the team because they have the charisma or the speaking ability to do that. And this other, group of people are the ones who are maybe better at doing the writing and organizing and the developing ideas. So it's about finding what your role is and getting those people involved.
Absolutely. Thank you. I want to jump over to Dr. Green. True confession right here. I'm a communication person. That's what my degrees are in. And economics scares the bejesus out of me. Just even, I would probably have to Google how to spell the word economics. I wouldn't be confident enough to even spell it correctly. So how do you deliver the course material in an economics course? I mean, someone who's just taking that to fulfill a requirement, how's that information delivered? What does an econ class look like?
First off, in econ, you get out of it what you put into it. And so what I mean by that is, like every other profession, I have my own language. There are things that mean things to me. And when I hear them in other ways, it kind of grates on the chalkboard. So I would say I try to focus on, first off, make sure you understand my language. And then we start talking about old things like, hey, some of this stuff developed because people found out that it was better to trade with each other than to try to do everything on your own. And then I'll have them do an out-of-class experiment with either themselves or their roommates and say, okay, we could divide the work up in your apartment just based on some of this economic theory, and try to show them how you can use it rather than just saying, here it is, go memorize it. But I also try to tell them, especially when we start talking about ideas like the demand for a product, that they're going to, if they're business majors and even non-business majors, are going to be impacted by this till the day they're gone. And so you try to make sure that they understand that I'm trying to measure the behavior of somebody, their buying behavior. And, I'm trying to get a hold of what do I think they're going to do if I alter some of the things like my income and the prices of other goods and the price of this good. And so I still kind of think that the theory background is fairly important, but I also try to bring in, because I used to do a lot of consulting work, and I try to say, look, this is where I use this, and this is the questions I can answer with it. And I guess, in the macro class, it takes almost a half a semester just to develop enough language to have the right conversation. And then we can start talking about policy. Why in 2008 did the administration give away $1 trillion in spending? It was trying to make the recession of 2008 less than it was. In fact, I hear people say stuff like, well, that policy did nothing. And so I'll use the theory and say, well, what if they had done nothing? And you start looking, using the theory, and you say, oh, we would have had something that looked an awful lot like the Great Depression. And so, trying to show them that there is a method to the madness when it comes to policy analysis. And again, just trying to look at things that are going around them in their own world and say, look, this is where it applies and this is how I would use it.
Absolutely. Thank you. So talking about applied application, Brenda, you teach digital citizenship. So what are some of those skills that students straight out of the gate, taking it in fall 1, digital citizenship, what are some of the skills that they will be able to acquire in that first 8 weeks, applied applications?
Well, we talk about what is a good digital citizen and all the elements of being a good digital citizen, such as be legal, don't copy, we have copyright laws, how to be nice, polite, how to use Zoom correctly and things like that. But the majority of the class is using computer applications. And gosh, who doesn't use Microsoft? So it's an intermediate class. We do have on campus an intro to computers class, but this is the second step in the Microsoft area, and we do intermediate courses in Excel, Microsoft Word. We look at Microsoft Outlook, PowerPoint, Access database management. So these are skills that many are using today, and hopefully they can take them with them throughout their personal and also their career life. So it's a good course. We do a lot of things in that course.
I always thought it's interesting because we talk about, everybody's kind of said, well, that's kind of like a computer course, right? Basic computing. And I remember working with some freshmen just last year because I'm like, talking about how much time they invested in it and how much they learned from it. Because you think now college freshmen, they're digital natives. They've had computers. They've had technology in their hands. They can take it apart, put it back together blindfolded. They can troubleshoot technology, phones, that good stuff. But when it comes to truly using applications to their fullest benefit, there's a lot to learn there.
Yeah, it's not simple anymore. Technology is very sophisticated, as we know, and there's so many options, just for videoing our classes. What do we use? What do the students use? Do they use their phones? Do they use their iPads? What format are they using? Or Canvas, our course management system on campus is what we use, and students, it's a good learning thing for them to learn these different learning management systems: Blackboard, Angel, Jewel, Canvas. So it's not simple anymore. So I just really enjoy the applications. I think the students do, and it's like, wow, I thought I knew a lot about technology, but there's always endless things to learn in technology.
Absolutely. Lois, that's a good transition to you. I was going to ask you how you incorporate Canvas, our learning management system, into your courses. Because some courses are taught, some classes will be taught in the classroom, some will be online, and some will be hybrid, depending on how the semester plans out in the course and section, things like that. So talk about your approach to using Canvas to fully teach a class and maybe to supplement a class you teach in person.
Regardless of whether I teach a course fully face-to-face, fully online, or a hybrid model, I use Canvas very, very heavily, mainly because I'm an accountant, so I have a touch of OCD about organization, and Canvas just helps me organize all of the assignments. I want a student to be able to log into my Canvas course and know exactly what they need to complete, exactly what the due date is, how to contact me if they have any questions, and I try to keep the grade book as up to date as possible. That way they're never wondering how they're doing in the class. They can always just log in and look at the grade book and see where they stand at any point in time. So just to give you some examples from last spring, before spring break, when everything went fully online, prior to that, I was still using Canvas heavily to post assignments and links to assignments and have them submit assignments for grading through Canvas, even though my lecturing was done in the classroom. And then after spring break, when we moved fully online, I began using a feature in Canvas called Panopto to actually record all of my lectures. And I take a little bit different approach to recording lectures. In accounting, students don't necessarily need to see my face while I'm talking. So I use the screen capture feature, and I usually pull up, whatever problem we're working on in the ebook, as well as my Excel file on the other side of the screen so that they can follow along and see exactly what I'm doing in Microsoft Excel. And then when the lecture's over, I'll post both the recording of the lecture as well as the Excel file that I created during the lecture so that students have that available to use, in their own time when they're working on assignments.
Perfect. Perfect. Does anyone have anything else? We're just about time. I just wanted to be respectful, like I said, of everybody's time, but anybody else have anything burning that they want to share with incoming students and their families?
One thing I would like to add at this point is that to ask Brenda Maynard if she'll just take a quick moment to talk about our leadership lecture series that we host on campus. And this is hosted by the Coleman College of Business, but it is open to the entire campus community and to the community. And Brenda coordinates that program. So Brenda, tell us a little bit about the leadership lecture series, please.
Yes, that is, I think, some of the highlights of our semester. 3 times during the semester, we bring back some of our alumni, our business graduates, and they just come back and talk to our students about where they've been, their experiences here, where they've been since they graduated. Many have been very successful graduates, and they come back and share their ideas, share their experiences, give them tips on how to be successful as a student athlete, how to be successful in the real world. And it's been a very successful program. I guess we've done it for what, Howard? I guess the last 8 to 10 years.
Yes.
And we brought back coaches, we brought back entrepreneurs, we brought back, again, people that work for the FBI, pharmaceutical sales, in the healthcare arena. So it's something that we encourage all of our business students to attend these seminars. We encourage all on campus to come and hear these speakers. So it's been a very successful program, and we look forward to continuing it. We get together usually at the beginning of the semester and brainstorm, okay, who would we like to bring back this semester? So we've got a pretty extensive list of people to bring back, and they've never turned us down. All have been very eager to come back and share their experiences. All have been very complimentary of Pikeville College, now UPike, and it's just great to have them back, and they're very welcomed by our current students, and also many of our faculty and staff come to these programs too. So these are things that we look forward to this semester to continuing. The virus kind of cut us short a little bit last semester, so perhaps we'll Zoom them in. Who knows how we'll do them this year, but we're definitely hoping they'll be on campus again.
Thank you, Brenda. We certainly are available. So again, as you think about anything you've heard in today's presentation or if that generates some questions, please reach out to us. And each of us are willing to help you in any way to make decisions. Stephanie coordinates this program that is very helpful and informative, and so she can put you in touch with any of us. So we look forward to welcoming our incoming class this fall to the campus of UPike, and we can see you in person, and that's a little better than this option, but this option works well with the factors that we're dealing with right now.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So if no one has anything else, we'll go ahead and close this session. Thank you guys for joining us today. It's good to see everybody's faces, have a little business reunion here. So again, viewers, feel free to reach out to any of us anytime. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Trey. Bye, Trey.